Hello, viewers. Hope you all are fine. We have our very special guest today and very smart topic today. Mr. Saleem Zamindar, a young investor, consultant, and doing a lot of great jobs, for Pakistan, especially living in Pakistan, motivating Pakistanis towards investment, telling them how the opportunities are there. Sir, welcome to our show.
Thank you very much, Atiq, for having me on the show, and I look forward to interacting with your audience. And I think it's a great work you're doing in terms of awareness and sharing of knowledge and information. And I think with people like you, there's a bright future ahead for Pakistan.
So kind of you. So kind of you, sir. Salim bhai, let's start with your introduction to make it, a little bit interesting. That where were you born, your education, and then coming towards, business.
So, my background is I did my schooling at the Karachi Grammar School in Karachi. I was born in Karachi, and after that, I went to Boston University and got a degree in economics from Boston. And then I got into international banking. I worked in Karachi, I worked in Dubai, I worked in Singapore. Then I went for my MBA to England, Durham University Business School, which is among the top 10. And from there, I graduated and I was hired by American Express. I worked in San Francisco for a few years. And then I came back to Pakistan in 2005, about 15 years ago. And I've set up my own consulting business for private investments. I work with international institutions who want to invest into Pakistan. And we also have a family fund, which we manage over here. So very much in touch with the investment climate here. I'm also an independent director on several corporate boards. I've served on the boards of banks, utilities, SSGC, Parkwith Investment Company, SSGC LPG, Shazan. I'm on the board of Shatash Textile Mills. I'm on the board of Gadoon Textile Mills. I also teach corporate governance at the Pakistan Institute of Corporate Governance. I'm on the faculty there. So it's multifaceted experiences.
Great, sir. Great. Amazing. It's always actually, whenever I meet you, I always have something to, have from you. At least every time we have a great motivation and something new to talk about. And the profile you carry, it is really very much wonderful. But a question rises here that mostly people who are studying like this, they would love to settle down somewhere, out of country, whether they have studied in UK or USA. And you had a lot of opportunities. You had a very strong educational background. Then what brought you back to Pakistan?
I think number one is a sense of belonging. End of the day, you can go anywhere in the world, but your roots are your roots. And my family's been living in Pakistan since pre-partition days. What 150, 200 years we've been in which is Karachi and Sindh. So I think the tradition, culture, and then also on the financial side, I think it's a great opportunity here. I think Pakistan is, I always call, when I go abroad, I say it's an information arbitrage opportunity. Anybody who can understand the Pakistan market and operate, they can do very well. And you see successful examples, whether it's Coca-Cola, whether it's Nestle, in banking, people who have come, who understood the market, had good management, invested here, have made good returns, and are very happy with the experience here.
Great. And I believe that Pakistan also needs people like you who can really do contribute at the great levels for a peaceful and prosperous Pakistan. Uh, Salim bhai, how do you see what do you mean by smart investly? Investing smartly, how do you know, explain it? Because there are a lot of people who invested, but when we use that investing something smartly, then it becomes quite strong kind of, sound.
I think at the individual level, investment should be linked to your individual goals and objectives. So your investment strategy has to be anchored around your goals and objectives. Whether you're saving to build a house, you're saving to start your own business, you're saving for your children's education. So each of these goals will have a different time horizon, a different risk tolerance, and a different strategy. Like a lot of people talk about the stock market, they have misconceptions. The stock market is like a casino, satta hota hai. But stock market is generally a great avenue for growth, but you need to have at least a 5 to 10 year time horizon. They have ups and downs, and but if you look at the historical trend of the Pakistan Stock Exchange, if you look at 30 years or 50-year data, it gives you a return of about 20 to 25% annualized, which is far above what a fixed income or a bank deposit would give you. But you need to have that time vision. If you want to invest money somewhere for 2 years or 3 years, then maybe the stock market would not be the right avenue for you, because there could be volatility in the
I
market.
think there is a little interruption. I would request you to.
And can you hear me, Atiq? Atiq, can you hear me?
Right, viewers.
आवाज आ रही है आपको? Atiq, can you hear me?
Welcome back. I guess the internet speed problem we are facing. That's why lost the
Okay.
connection. Could you please repeat? I guess it was very important you were sharing, and which lost the connection.
I think investing smartly. I think in Pakistan, the first thing a lot of people everything that comes to mind is the stock market, and the stock market can attract all kinds of investors. The speculators who go in for short term, and they're willing to take the losses or the gains. But if you're an investor, generally the stock market is ideal for people who got a 5 to 10 year time horizon. That you don't need that money for 5 to 10 years, then the stock market is an avenue that can give you good returns. And the historical trend of the Pakistan stock market has been is that it gives you return about 20 to 25% on an annualized basis. But in short term, which is 2, 3, 4 years time horizons, you can have volatility in the markets. So stock market is recommended for people where you have a 5 to 10 year time horizon.
Right, right. But here a question rises that is it important to have the knowledge of investment? Because there are a lot of people I see they might be interested in different kind of investment, but once the problem comes that they are not having proper knowledge of that thing, as you just talked about the stock market, that people have a kind of misconception that it is a casino or it is something like this, then such kind of people, how do you suggest them that how they can be the part of investment?
I think it's a very specialized field. Internationally, generally people don't, they go to the bank and they open an account and they have a financial advisor they work through. But over in Pakistan, the whole concept of financial advisory at the retail level has not really taken off. So the avenue that can be worked with for over here is the mutual fund industry, which has done a fairly good job, is well established in Pakistan. So I would recommend to an average retail investor to invest through mutual fund in Pakistan. They have a lot of good stock funds, balanced funds, and fixed income funds. So I think the mutual fund is a good route for an average retail investor to take in Pakistan.
Right. And there is also availability of people like you who are experts. They can also offer the support to such people, I guess.
Generally, the financial advisors generally over in Pakistan will be working with only high net worth segment. For the mass market segment, those platforms have not developed in Pakistan yet. But inshallah, I think in the future that should be the route.
Right. I would like to know your comments on that. What basic knowledge is needed to be an investor? For doing any investment, what basic knowledge do we need?
The basic knowledge is you have to look at the annual report of the company you're investing in the listed sector. Look at the industry background. There are a lot of industry reports available. You have to look at the management of the company you're investing in. And then also you have to look at the macroeconomic environment of the country. Where's the currency is going? What's government policies? What are the taxation policies? So it's a fairly intensive exercise before you make the decision of which company to invest in and for what reasons. So that's why it's generally advisable for a retail investor to go through mutual funds, or he relies on the advice or the expertise of his broker.
I think the our mobile company is not helping us what you are saying. I don't know, it's not helping us.
Yeah, I think I can't hear you. Your it's freezing up and your voice is not coming through.
Welcome back, sir.
Yes,
Really
Atiq.
very sorry for the interruption, but as the internet speed is not helping us today.
Can you hear me, Atiq? Or
Can you hear me, please?
Atiq, can you hear me?
Gigi, I can hear you, please. Go ahead.
So we covered the equity markets briefly, but the most common investment avenue in Pakistan are the government securities. That's where the vast majority of the people have put their savings, and especially the retirement pension funds and retirement funds, which is basically the defense saving certificates, the special saving certificates, which are issued by the government of Pakistan through the national saving centers, which have a very large distribution network throughout Pakistan.
Mhm. Great. Uh, I would like to know a little bit more about the insurance companies working in Pakistan. What kind of investment do you call it?
These are also in insurance. You have two types of. You mean life insurance? I believe you're talking about. In
Right?
life insurance, one is pure life insurance where you're just paying money for a life insurance policy. If you take out a 30-year life insurance policy, that if you die and if it's a 5 million rupee policy, your beneficiary will get 5 million. But they also have investment linked insurance policy, whereby when the contribution you're making or the payment you're making, annual payment for the insurance policy, a certain percentage is paying for the life insurance. Rest of the money is being invested in different asset classes, which includes equities, includes mutual funds, includes government securities and fixed income. So it's like a forced saving for a lot of people. And I think State Life and EFU have been fairly successful in marketing these products.
Right, right. And but it is the first time I came to know that there is something like more than the life insurance as well, and it is really very interesting.
And it's a very good way for the average investor to save money, because they think they've got an insurance policy which is linked to their need, and then when they make the payment, a certain percentage is paying for that, the rest of the money is being invested. So after 10, 15, 20 years, they have a sum built up which they can withdraw also. It's good forced savings for a lot of people.
Very much right. Very much right. How someone can invest with the little money, because everybody may not have a lot of money to invest. So for such kind of investor, what do you suggest?
I think again, the mutual funds allow you to, with a small amount, to invest into the stock market and to get diversification as well. So as little as, I think, the 5,000 rupees, you can start investing in a equities mutual fund.
Could
And
you please go a little more in details about both of these?
a mutual fund is basically takes money from various investors, and then they professionally manage that fund based on the strategy of the fund. So the mutual fund can be equity only. It can be equity and fixed income, which is government securities and bank deposits, a mix of the two. So depending on the time horizon, depending on the risk tolerance of a customer, he can choose the mutual fund he wants to invest in. So in Pakistan, you'll find at least 50, 60 different types of mutual funds, depending on what your investment priority is. But in very simple words, what a stock mutual fund or an equity mutual fund will do for a small investor is that you can invest with 5,000 rupees. You get diversification because that fund is invested into a large number of companies and is professionally managed by professional money managers who have a research department to help them find the right investments for the fund. which an average individual investor, it will be very, very expensive or very, to do so on his own.
Very interesting, very interesting. And it's really quite of great opportunities for learning as well, that with a very little amount you can invest and then you can learn before you can invest the bigger one.
Once your money is invested, you can take time, and they'll keep sending you the reports also, so you see where your money is has been invested, how the fund has been performing, how the stock market has been performing. And as you get more seasoned and more comfortable with the investment environment or the investment world, then you can start diversifying and looking at other investment avenues which are open to you as well.
Very nice. Right, sir. Right, sir. Salim bhai, how do you see the changes in the investment after especially this COVID-19? And what kind of investments do you see, rising up after it?
I think Pakistan, there's a world of opportunity in Pakistan. The valuations are extremely, to use the word cheap, I would say, when you look at the global standards, and there's a lot of room to develop our various businesses. If you look at the fishing business in Pakistan, the fisheries, they're very, very underdeveloped. There's a huge demand globally for it. It can be developed. The tourism sector in Pakistan, for local tourism, for international tourism, there's a dearth of opportunities out here. And I live in Karachi, and if you go to the coastline of Karachi, going all the way to Gwadar and beyond, there's not a single beach resort. And not too far away, if you go to Dubai, you cannot walk a couple of 100 meters and not see another. There are probably 200 to 300 beach hotels, resorts, and then on the Dubai coastline. And we have zero in Karachi. So that tells you the opportunity for entrepreneurs to come in and to partake in this industry for local tourism and for international tourism. And we talk about CPEC, and hopefully, China is not far away. We can attract a lot of Chinese tourists to come. Once you have a high train service from China coming all the way to Gwadar, then
Definitely. It can be they can come in the morning and leave in evening.
yes, and
It
there'll be a
can work out.
spill out effect. Retail stores, restaurants, the logistics, the transportation. So all of these industries get the benefit of this once you develop the tourism sector.
Very true. And
And
the same thing as you are suggesting, a few days back, I was telling you that I had an interview of the senator from Gwadar, Mr. Kauda Babar. He had the same version that there is need of investors to come forward, and definitely in the coming times there are a lot of opportunities. And especially my personal experience last time visit to Ormara, I was when I was passing this Kunmalir, and then after that the mysterious and the beautiful kind of these mountains, they make you stop there. You don't like to leave and go further. So there is need of such kind of places, such kind of resorts, such kind of even boating clubs and such kind of activities are needed there, where people can be attracted, and definitely, as you said, local tourism and international tourism can be promoted.
absolutely, and
How
I
do
think
you
that
see, as the person who is bringing international investment, are you working on something to invite the international investors for the tourism of Pakistan?
we work on projects, but what they're looking at is the enabling environment in Pakistan. That's all they expect from the government. There's plenty of global capital available to come into Pakistan, to come in and support different projects out here. Because the return is fantastic in Pakistan. All they want is an enabling environment, which the government has to provide. The
What
security, the right laws.
right? Yeah, this is what I was going to ask you. That what enabling environment they are looking for? I guess security quite better right now from the past, and I think what other things you're talking about that.
Ease of doing business. You can create special tourism zones where different laws apply over there. So it's easier for people to build resorts, beach resorts, give them tax breaks. For new investors to come in, they're looking for tax holidays, tax breaks. because you're competing in a global environment. If you want somebody to set up a beach resort in Gwadar or in Karachi, you're competing with Vietnam, you're competing with Thailand, you're competing with Philippines. So the
Sri
investor will
Lanka.
look at where Sri Lanka, and they, a lot of and Kenya, a lot of these countries have been
Very true.
successful. You give them a enabling environment, investment will come. That's not a issue at all. There's plenty of global capital available.
True. True. There is need, I think, by the, there is need of some proper kind of actions once these COVID-19 is over by the government, especially to work harder on the tourism, because Pakistan has a lot to give, a lot to, even just I said this, the beaches, if we can develop very nicely, we have very beautiful beaches available, as soon we start from Karachi and as you said, then up to Gawadar. Just there is need of maintenance, just there is need of development.
Yeah, absolutely. And aviation industry is another opportunity out here. Back in the 50s, 60s, Karachi was a midway point from Europe going to Far East. Because we are lucky to have good weather 365 days a year in Karachi. So flights, there's no issue of flights landing and then departing from here. So it can become even an aviation hub for the entire world,
Very true, very true.
which will
Yes,
add, which will
yes.
give impetus to your tourism industry
Salim
because
bhai, there are different. Yes, yes, definitely, definitely. And there is need of it. Whenever we are visiting different countries, like you just discussed, Dubai, Sri Lanka, the first thing comes in your mind that Pakistan really is quite richer than many countries in these terms. But there is only need of the term you use, enabling environment. We have to enable the environment so more investors can come, more development can happen.
absolutely, bilkul. And in line with something very simple would be, we need a visa on arrival system for certain countries. Thailand, Dubai, Sri Lanka, all of these countries. A lot of the tourism market, they will not go and apply to pay 50, $100 and apply for a visa and wait for weeks, 10 days to get a visa to come to Pakistan. So for certain countries, we need to enable the visa on arrival process, which is a very simple thing to do.
Very true. I guess in the past, government did some kind of actions on this thing, and they offered the arrival visa to many countries, 100 plus countries.
I think it's a business sector, but not for the individual's normal sector. It never took off. It never got implemented in practical terms. हम कागज में सब कुछ कर लेते हैं लेकिन इम्प्लीमेंटेशन पे फिर वो बात नहीं चलती आगे.
This is very serious, and this is really alarming. It's because many things what we listen that the policymakers have done. It is legislated as well, but the implementation process is very hard, which needs to be also worked upon, because this is very important. When the investor is coming from any other country, he sees the management, you know I guess at the first, because he has to deal with the government people for running the business, for establishing the business. So everything should be very transparent and very much efficient, I guess, so we can attract the more investors to Pakistan. What do you think?
Absolutely correct. When they come here, they look at the for big businesses, they don't have a problem. Because if it's General Electric or Citibank, these big companies want to do business. They come, they meet people at the prime minister level, and they have the resources to get things done. But we need to diversify get from other countries too. There are a lot of investors from Malaysia, Indonesia.
True, very true. Uh, Salim bhai, there are different types of investment. Like people say that invest in gold, invest in real estate, invest in the bonds, mutual funds, as you talked about, stock market. What is best to invest right now, especially in the context of Pakistan?
I think for a seasoned investor, you need to be diversified into all asset classes. So the investment world we call these asset classes: stocks, government securities, fixed income, gold, currencies. So you need to make a basket of different investments to manage your risks in an appropriate way. But it's impossible to call where will gold go in the future, but it needs to be part of your portfolio.
Right, right. Just talked about the portfolio. There is a one term used in the investment blue chip portfolio. What is it all about?
Blue chip generally goes towards for large companies which are very well established household names. Like
Right,
4G Fertilizer in Pakistan, Hub Power Company, National Bank of Pakistan. These are considered to be large blue chip companies because of the size and brand event. They have a strong brand. They're large companies, so they're generally considered to be less riskier than a small to medium sized business.
right, right, sir. Uh, Salim bhai, there is always a right time for buying and right time for selling. How one can come to know that this is the right time, especially in the market. A person I was interviewing, he told me that the Karachi stock market was just crashed, and just after that I invested that much, and within 3 4 months I had a great kind of profit. So I wanted to know from you that how does it happen, what is the right time, to buy something and then sell it.
I think always is a good time to buy, and you can average your cost out. But generally, we know what Mr. Rothschild, one of the large global, one of the richest families in the world, used to say: the time to buy is when there's blood on the street, when everybody's selling, when
That's
everybody's panicking, and things become cheap. That's the time where a person who does not need the money for the next 5 8 years is a good time to go in, and you can get good investments at very good prices.
great. Actually, when I learned this term of, bloodshed, so I was myself for a few minutes, what is it all about? Because I am not a person of finance and investment. But it was very interesting as you have just elaborated that this is the right time when other people are panicking. The one who knows he can invest, he can buy it. Salim bhai, one term I was reading again that it was a saying actually that when we are traveling, the fast lane and the slow lane both take you to the same destination. How do you see it in the terms of investment?
You mean get rich fast or get rich slowly? In
That's
that
right.
term,
That's right. Yes,
you
yes,
know,
yes, please.
I think opportunities come, and if you're prepared for them, you can avail of them. But there's no easy way to get rich or easy way to make a lot of money. The best way, if you're ambitious if you want to create a lot of wealth, is you have to go out there, start your own business, and grow it. That's the true entrepreneurial way of making wealth. You start with one gas station or with one supermarket, and over 20, like Walmart started with one supermarket. Today there are 12,000 worldwide. That's true entrepreneurship, and that's the way to build wealth. Another way is to do it is to piggyback on somebody else's entrepreneurship and to come as an investor. And for most people, the way to do it is through the stock market. You invest in companies with the industry outlook, the management you can trust, and if the company does well, your investment in that will also grow, and you will do well over time. But in 3 months or 6 months, if you want to make a lot of money, then that's more towards the speculative side of trading, in which you can make a lot of money, at the same time you can lose a lot of money. And I think majority of people lose the money. I would say
Right,
maybe less
right,
than 5% make a lot of money, 95% end up losing.
right. I would like you to please just enlighten us with little more about speculative investment, as you just talk about that such kind of investment is very dangerous, that mostly people can lose it.
Speculative investment in what in local lingo we call satta bazi. Where you're taking high risk with the hope of high return. And then when you do that, you have to be willing to accept the risk that you could lose all your money too.
And
You
this
know,
this kind of investment must be short term investment because you are not ready to take
in
the
in the
longer time.
in the stock market, what you do, you work on leverage. You only have 1,000 rupees, but then you borrow 9,000 rupees from somebody else, and you invest in the thing. That investment goes down 20%. You have lost your 1,000 rupee, and you owe somebody 1,000 rupees. But if that investment doubles, that your return becomes 2,000%, meaning that you only put 1,000 rupees and you end up with 20,000 rupees. So your upside is huge too because you're using leverage and speculation. But if the market or your decision goes wrong, you can lose accordingly as well. Very fast, your capital can disappear and you can end up owing people money. Even in real estate, you can have speculative investment. You talked about Gavadir. Somebody could have a scheme right now and you buy a file or make an investment. Maybe the project never takes off, it goes into litigation. Worst vis vis something like DHA Karachi. DHA will be a safer investment where it's more established.
Very true, very true. In Whenever we are doing any investment, the first thing has to be kept in mind is the risk, because risk is always there.
There's risk with all investments. You can only manage how high a risk you want to take or high low risk you want to take. So like even with government securities, there is a risk, very, very low risk, but there is a risk because there are countries in the world in Latin America which have defaulted on even sovereign risk, which is government risk. But good thing about one of the great strengths of Pakistan has been that the government of Pakistan has never defaulted on its debt, Pakistani debt and international debt. And also, a very positive thing about Pakistan has been there's never been a bank failure in Pakistan. And wherever there's banks which have become shaky, the state bank has moved in and has taken over the institution or merged it with another strong financial institution. So depositors have never lost a rupee in any bank in Pakistan, which is a great achievement.
Really wonderful, wonderful. And something what we say, Salim Bhai, that an investor has to be very calm personality. Definitely, he needs some experience, he needs some knowledge of the market, but he has to be a calm person. I remember a story about 10 years back while I was sitting at one brokerage house. A person in front of me lost more than 25 lakh rupees within 1 hour, and the only thing was being shared by the owner of the brokerage house. He told me that this person is confused actually, and he is not a calm person. Sometimes he gets, he earns as well, but he's here to only lose because he's keep just, if he's not getting one thing, he's going to put another one. He's buying the things just randomly. So I want your comment on this as well, that a person needs to be not only having the knowledge and experience, does he need a balanced kind of personality to work in such kind of investments?
You're absolutely right, Atiq. Your emotions are very much tied to your money. There's a very strong relationship between your personal emotions and money. Any person who loses money or gains a lot of money, it impacts his emotions. So if you
Right.
if, so what your friend this gentleman must be doing was he's probably speculating in the market. So one day he makes money, one day he loses money.
That's right. Definitely. And as you said that such kind of person, and once he was keep losing, they did not tell me the exact figure that how much he had lost in the market, but they were saying he has he has lost everything nearly because of the same thing, that he wins or earns, one day, and then the rest of 3 4 days he's keep losing. Again he comes, he sells the property, he sells, and that is a kind of, as you earlier said, the real sata as well, that a person is just in the run to get his money back.
then he's not an investor. I think that he's a speculator. That's like going to the casino, going to the race course and betting on a horse. अगर जीत गया तो बहुत कमा लिया और हार गया तो your money is gone. So that's why stock market gets a bad impression or a perception in Pakistan that the stock market में सट्टाबाजी है. Sattabazi or speculation is just one aspect of the stock market. The through a good investor who's got a 5 to 10 year time horizon will generally never lose money in Pakistan in the stock market. So if a person is
Right. Thanks for a clarification of a speculator and investor, because here this needed to be clear that a lot of people who do this such kind of speculation, they are not actually investors.
you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. If you're a speculator, you're
Salim,
absolutely right. An investor who invests with a 5 to 10 year time horizon will never lose money.
right. Salim bhai, we have in the past many such kind of cases also seen where a person like Double Shah, he comes in the market and he says, just give me the money and I'll give you the double. And a lot of people lost their money in the past. We know very well many political figures were involved in such kind of things as well. Does government have such kind of check and balance on such kind of people and such kind of companies, such kind of organization?
But the rules and regulations are there. You need a license to take money from people. To start a bank or a cooperative bank or a brokerage house. Any person who's taking money from the public in Pakistan requires to have a license from the government. But a lot of these dodgy schemes, which are globally they're called Ponzi schemes, they start off privately through word of mouth and they build into large sums of money. So the initial investors who invest, they double their money or triple their money and they get out. It's people towards the end who end up losing all their money.
Right. Salim, honestly, it was really wonderful information, wonderful knowledge. We'll be keep coming back. There is a request of program on the stock market, so we'll take that recommendation from you as well. And in future, we will come to know more things from you, especially about the smart investment. Uh, Please have a message for the youth of the world, I will say, even because a lot of people, youngsters, they are interested in the investments, and but they need the proper guidance. How you would like to just give a message that such kind of people with the less money, with the less experience, how they can become investors?
I think for young people starting off with small savings, I would say go to an asset management company and invest into a. You will get free advice from the financial advisor or a person investment consultant sitting over there, and invest in start off with a fund. If you're a young person, get an equity fund. Start off with 5,000 rupees or $50 or $100 investment. and see how it performs. Keep saving on a regular basis. That's very, very important. So whatever you're earning, try and save 10, 15%, whatever you can on a regular basis, and keep investing in that vehicle and see how it grows. And over time, expertise, and you will learn by doing it. And once you have money
Great.
invested in that, you will show more interest and you'll start reading up more about it as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. And please do suggest this thing as well, that what kind of material they need to read beside, doing this small investment and learning practically. I guess there are different kind of journals, there are different kind of, online material they should be keep going through to have an idea that what kind of investment can be better at that time, best at different times.
I think if you just Google basic investment strategies, you will get a world of information on Google in terms of how to start off investing as an amateur investor. But
Great.
but
So
one book I would recommend to all your viewers would be is Rich Dad and Poor Dad. Because it
yes,
tells you about what kind of mindset to have if your idea is to make a lot of money in life.
and really interesting. I loved it. I myself read it, uh, and it's really very interesting in the story format. The way it is written, you can read it very easily. It's
Yeah.
not that much serious kind of thing.
In a very
Very
simple way, आपकी सोच सही कर देता है वो.
बिल्कुल ऐसे जी बिल्कुल. Salim Zamindar Saab, thank you very much for very precious time and a lot of basic information we wanted from this program, because this was just like, for an ordinary person who has interest in investment, can understand the basics of investment, can have the basic information, and then especially in the during the COVID-19 and after, how people can try to invest, and from a least amount, as you said, one can invest from 5,000 rupees, $100. This is something really amazing. Thank you very much to you for being so kind, for so generous for this time. Looking forward to see you again in our coming shows.
Thank you, Atiq, very much for having me. It was a pleasure and honor to be here. And my one request to you would be, we spoke also about tourism. You are very, very influential in Islamabad in terms of in government circles. Please request them to have a realistic tourism policy. Don't make a policy which is just good for paper. It cannot be implemented. Come up with a realistic policy, no rocket science involved, and things can start to take off. It's a great industry to develop in Pakistan right now.
Definitely,
So
definitely. And we try from all the available sources, resources, and we'll definitely try to highlight through personal context as well, through our show as well, that we do need it. Pakistan need more tourism. Pakistan need more investment through tourism.
excellent. Thank you so much, Atiq. Take care. Have a great day.
Thanks a lot. Thank you
Ah.
very much. See you then. I love this. I love. Just a second.